There is a cross-class cosmetic outfit that you can only get if you pre-order Diablo 4 and link your account. However, beware, if you pre-order in order to get it, then cancel your pre-order, you will lose the skin. Instead of using the teleport button located below your storage, instead what you want to do is just hit the B button and open up your warband. After that, click Go to Siren Guard. This will give you an instantaneous teleport to a blacksmith as well as an identifier, and also has your stash available to you. This is the quickest possible way because when you leave, it'll take you right back to where you were and allows you to teleport out freely. This does not have a cost or any limitation associated with it. It can also be used when your cooldown happens on your teleport, as there is a limitation to teleports from your bag. Daily codex items can be stacked. For instance, your set item can be stacked up to 3 times, allowing you to do 9 dungeons for 3 guaranteed set items. This is the same, for instance, with your platinum as well. If you have leftover pieces from other classes, you can actually extract them still within the Essence Extractor. All you have to do is click on the tab and select the class which you wish to extract. After that, go to the piece, and you can see just like that, I can still extract pieces that are not even from my class. It will save the progress on the bar. When you need wisps, you can actually trade up the lower valued wisps in order to get the higher value ones. This is a ratio of 5 to 1, for instance, from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. However, when you are going to the higher value wisps from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, it bumps up the cost to 7 of them. Any of your returned warband items that you no longer need can be salvaged for these wisps as well now since the latest update. Be careful when farming your demonic remains, as they are actually scaled individually for each class. So if you farm ahead and you're trying to farm pieces from like Hell 8 when you're going to Hell 8, if you decide to switch classes between now and then, all of the ones you farmed will be useless and you will have to either salvage them in order to get remains or save them for when you swap classes. Yes, whatever you're wearing does swap classes with you, so you don't have to worry about your main set. Be careful when placing pieces into your tableau, as what you want to do is make sure you're trying to maximize the bonuses as much as possible. It takes the top 4, so if you have 4 items that all have like the same stats, for instance, you can miss out on other stats entirely, which will actually end up costing you more combat rating in the long run. Primary attack damage, including the Shao Bass set, actually affects summons as well. This affects all summons, including your Echoing Shade, and increases the damage done by primary attacks. However, this does not include damage from things like channeled mages. It only includes anything that actually uses a basic attack and doesn't cast an ability, for instance. If you go back through your old Heliquaries and notice some of them still have an XP reward, you're going to want to wait and save this until you're well above server Paragon level and use this right as you're going to a new Hell difficulty in order to push farther. Effectively, this means there's a 2 million flat experience yet to be gained from those raids. You can see some of mine have it, some of mine do not. So don't forget to go back through and look at your old raids. You might have skipped some of them. As you can see, I skipped 5 of mine, so I have 10 million experience just sitting there waiting. This point deserves an additional disclaimer. You have to have your rewards available for that week, so it is a one-time reward only available per each of these individual bosses, and you have to have your rewards available for that day of those weeks. For instance, I am 5 out of 5, so if I did this now, I would not get the experience. Make sure every day you're actually physically going to the Elder Rift and claiming your free rare crest, even though they're not necessarily good right now. If they ever decide to buff these or make these better for the free-to-play players, sitting on these would be a good idea. Don't forget to check your bounty boards, as now some of these bounties are actually 5x experience bonus, which is significant. While challenge rifts don't really give you any reason to be on the solo leaderboard, if you can actually get some whales to carry you in the party leaderboard and for some reason give you a top 10 standing, these are significant, as these will help you upgrade your set items. Upgrading pieces at the blacksmith actually gets cheaper at certain levels when they change materials. This is to keep it somewhat actually achievable when upgrading. For that reason, maybe going and getting your 21st upgrade, if you haven't gotten there yet, would be a good idea on all your pieces. This gives you a 4th random bonus attribute. It will drop again once you hit 1,000 dust and do your next upgrade. I believe it's at 25 would be the level, and then at that point it drops back down one more time. There is data mined to be a new type of salvage material coming, and I would assume it would do the same thing with that. The best way to get your gold for Gambos is by doing your vault. The vault itself is actually nutty for gold. You don't even have to beat them. You just do the first 3 floors and you're going to get 100,000 basically every time, even if you lose, and you can do it every 10 minutes. If you're worried about the badges, the best way to actually do this is to make your own shadow clan. Hilariously enough, this is the best way to get the 12% badge. With the change coming to gems, it's probably a good time to try to get your hands on literally any gems, but I would assume they're sold out completely in the market, so if you see gems, maybe consider purchasing them. If you have an awakening on an item that you wish did not have an awakening, you can wait till you get an upgrade, fully salvage this piece and get all of your stuff back from the blacksmith, and then use that to upgrade your next upgrade. And you can take that Dawning Echo that you salvaged from the awakening and you can awaken a different piece. So let's say you only have one awakening because you only spent enough to buy one of them. You could move it around every time you get an upgrade to a different spot depending upon whatever new build you're trying. When you class change, you have an opportunity to duplicate your ring, as you can wear one reserve ring and one of the original rings. So as you can see here, obviously I picked my triple stat ring. I wore that when I class changed and then made the reserve piece of it as well. Then I went back and wore my original as well as the reserve piece. And now I have 3 triple rows, as you can see, which help my combat rating by like 100. I also got skill cooldown from this and damage done to players as well. It will also duplicate the gem socket, so keep that in mind. If you have a good socket, it will duplicate that too. Now, one other thing is, because it only gives you a reserve, it doesn't help towards your set piece, but this is a good way to jump up some combat rating if you're behind. Disclaimer for that one, it's only going to work if you go from intelligence to intelligence or strength to strength class. If you go from strength to intelligence, it won't work because the original ring will be the opposite attribute, so you won't be able to wear it and you'll only have the clone of it. I know a lot of you think, hey, DM, I knew all these, but here's one maybe you didn't know. Did you know a charm actually only gets its name based upon how many of the skill bonuses it has for each individual class? So it will just be called a charm. However, it will be called, for instance, an unyielding charm like this one if it has 3 Crusader, or a grand charm here is the standard. Grand charm standard because it's all random ones, right? But a fine reanimated charm because it has 5 of the necromancer ones. So charms have different names depending upon what class they actually use. Here's a spiritual charm for a monk that has 4 monk charms. If any of this was new information, or if you just enjoyed the video, consider liking the video. It'll help me out a ton. Or if you ever wish to see me again or help me out a lot, subscribing does a lot for me. I love you all, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. At the end here, I want to say one quick thing, which is I've been live streaming a new game, which is a single player game. Come by and hang out with me if you would like. Really enjoy having an opportunity to chat with everybody. It's twitch.tv/startmicrotransaction. It'll be in the pinned comments as well. I really do hope to see you there today.